This next video comes from a man named Brandon Costa, who was woken up by a strange noise outside his room. He proceeds to take out his phone and record the strange event, but what he captures leaves him deeply unsettled. Now, according to Brandon, he had played with the Ouija board a few days before. Because of this, he believes that what happened that night was paranormal in nature. All in all, this incident has spooked him to his core.
Ay, cabrón, no manches, ¿qué era eso? No. Ay, no manches. Ay, no mames.
Eerily enough, a face can be seen peeping at Brandon before disappearing from sight. But, scariest of all, the bedroom door suddenly closes on its own. Given that Brandon had played with the Ouija board before this, viewers aren't surprised that this happened. But still, what he encountered is absolutely terrifying. Serious noise when something very strange is caught on camera. This video was posted about 9 months ago, and the person who recorded this says that while spending the night at his aunt's house, which is very old, unusual events took place. This is the video he took.
I'm still hearing voices. Listen. Jesus Christ! Now you're knocking again.
A child's voice is heard close to the camera. In a frantic motion, the person recording fled from the room and headed straight to his car upon hearing whispers coming out of nowhere. Not much else is known about the video, which makes it even more mysterious. But even without it, the encounter itself is scary alone. A child is woken up late at night and does something that has left its parents completely disturbed. This footage was taken in the middle of the night when all of a sudden, this happens. Somehow, the child maintains a perfect balance as it reaches out towards something. Viewers believe that it's reaching out to a paranormal entity inside the room. Whether it's malicious or not is unknown, but given the situation the child is in, some believe that a sinister presence was responsible for the child's behavior. Although we don't know for sure if it's something paranormal, the piercing scream of the child is without a doubt pretty chilling. Not much else is known about the video, but the footage itself is enough for us to know that what happened that night is beyond strange. It's late at night when a mother and daughter arrive home. The security camera at the front entrance records them pulling up to the gate of the house when out of nowhere, something very strange happens. This video was posted by Mary Carmen, the daughter in this video, who lives on a small farm with a lot of animals. Now, the animals on this farm would do things that would make her feel as though she were taking care of children. To her, this place feels more like a daycare than a farm. But the biggest child, according to her, is her dog, who's known as Scott. From dancing with the so-called mom, to going on boat rides whenever he gets the chance, Mary Carmen has a special place in her heart for Scott. But unfortunately, one night, something happened that left her completely devastated. She had come home with her mother after having dinner at a relative's when she found Scott lying in his bed. He seemed unusually quiet, which he never was. Scott had passed away. Now, it wasn't until grieving for days on end that she finally looked at the security cameras that captured Scott's final moments before passing. Based on the footage, he passed away only a few hours before Mary Carmen returned home. He was already gone before she came. But after looking at the footage of when she arrived, she immediately noticed something strange. What was captured had brought her to tears. Have a look. A strange figure that looks to be a dog suddenly appears on camera. Mary Carmen believes that this may have been the spirit of her dog, given that he just passed away that same night. According to her, he seemed to be waiting for her to return home before departing. It's as though he wanted to see her one last time before going away forever. To this day, Mary Carmen watches this video to remind her that even though Scott is physically gone, he is still with her in spirit. But, like all videos, you be the judge on whether or not the ghost of her dog was captured. Posted by a girl named Pupa who was home alone when something pretty terrifying was captured. The video starts off with Pupa lying on the couch before she suddenly realizes that someone or something is in her house. She was on her phone when she glanced over at the corner of the room and saw what looked to be a person standing completely still. Someone was watching her. Although freaked out at first, she began to laugh as she had a feeling that this was either her friend or boyfriend who was pulling a prank. But little did she know, this wasn't a prank. A mysterious presence has invaded Pupa's home. The following is her video. Watch.
¡Qué miedo que das! ¿Qué haces? ¡Ey! ¿Quién sos? ¡Andate de mi casa! ¡Eh!
Right when things are getting tense, the video ends abruptly. It's unknown as to what exactly happened afterward, but one can safely assume that Pupa was left extremely terrified. Now, Pupa has posted some videos after this incident, but in neither video does she go into detail about the events of that night. Perhaps this incident was so disturbing that Pupa is trying her best to forget about it. Although it's unclear as to what exactly was captured, there's no doubting that the video she took is just downright chilling. Place in Mexico that used to be known as the Disneyland of Latin America. Reino Mágico was a small theme park that opened in 1988 and closed only a few years later after multiple fatal accidents took place inside the park. It's unknown if the park had shut down for this reason, but some believe that the park had closed its doors for the simple fact that many visitors reported paranormal experiences while being there. This isn't surprising to some people, as the park was built on a cemetery. Urban explorers are certainly creeped out by this fact, but they're even more creeped out by the statues that were left behind. Rumor has it that the statue of Snow White is haunted. Nightly visitors have reported seeing the statue in a spot that was not the same as where it was originally seen. It's as though it moved on its own. One night, a group of friends visit the abandoned theme park when something very strange is captured on camera. Take a look.
Grande. Ah, bueno, tú tienes tu luz azul. ¿Qué?
Güey, ese es el velador de...
Es el velador, ¿no? Ah, velador. ¡Ey! Velador.
Aguanta, aguanta, espérate, ey. Shh, no te muevas. No mames, no te muevas de ahí. Güey,
¿Velador?
ese no es el velador, güey.
Güey, no es el velador.
No.
¿Qué te pasa el velador?
No, aguanta. Deja que mi cámara enfoque bien, Deja que mi cámara enfoque bien, güey. Ese no es el velador. No digas perras mamadas, güey. Perdón. Güey, ¿fue aquí? No digas mamadas, güey. Miren. No digas mamadas, güey.
Yo la vi moverse.
No, Dios. No. No, güey, no mames.
¿Qué fue eso, güey?
No sé.
No mames, güey. No mames.
¿Crees que haya sido ella?
Güey, nos estamos metiendo más adentro del reino mágico. Banda, comparte.
No mames, güey, no mames.
Feeling beyond spooked, the group sees what looks to be another person inside the park. But as they look closely, they see that whoever this is appears to be wearing a dress. They continue to watch and notice that how they walk is a bit strange. Fast forward to the group seeing the statue of Snow White, and it's at this point that they realize the color of its dress is the same as the one worn by the person they saw. Could it be that the so-called person was actually the statue moving on its own? The group seems to believe this, but of course, it isn't certain if that's the case. Had the group actually seen the statue moving on its own, or was this something else? Feel free to let me know your thoughts on this one. A German couple is woken up late at night after hearing strange noises coming from the attic. They grab their camera and begin to record. Needless to say, the video they caught has left them more than just baffled, but also terrified. Now, the couple in this video are German folk who had bought a house in the US. Although the exact location of where they live isn't known, it seems evident that their home situates on haunted ground. For a while, the couple has been experiencing strange activity at home. Most of it, according to them, takes place inside their attic, which expands directly above their bedroom. It's past midnight when the sound of movement is heard above. They hurry to grab their camera with the intent of capturing and showing others what's been happening at their place. This is their video.
Schon wieder.
Ich hör's.
Ich guck mal hoch. Schnuffi. Schnuffi? Was ist los? Schnuffi? Schnuffi? Schnuffi, was ist los? Was machst denn du? Na komm schon. Ha.
It appears that Schnoofy is scared of something. Schnoofy hides under the bed for a couple of minutes before eventually coming out, though it isn't long after that she decides to go back underneath. It's very similar to when Chris had explored an abandoned warehouse, which turned out to be extremely haunted. Perhaps the same thing could be said about this place. But when considering the following occurrence, this notion becomes more likely the case. Early on, Chris had explored a different section of the building when suddenly this happened.
Somebody's in there. Scared the Oh man. Oh man. Oh God. Hello. Oh, it's a toy.
And her small family live in a suburban home in Long Island, New York. Both she and her husband are happily raising 4 children while simultaneously running a traveling petting zoo. Although living a busy lifestyle, Michelle and her husband always make sure to prioritize the needs of their children. Given how much they care for their safety, they install a nanny cam inside their baby daughter's bedroom. One night, while looking over at the baby monitor, something downright spooky is caught on camera. Michelle says that her baby daughter typically sleeps through the night, and if she were to wake up, she would usually cry out for her mother. But on this night, something unexpected happens. Watch. Michelle says that her daughter appears to be pointing at something in the dark. What's even more odd is that her baby daughter was laughing and pointing at something for about an hour or so before going back to sleep. It's because of this clip that Michelle thinks that her daughter has encountered something paranormal. According to her, her daughter was seeing something that we couldn't. Whatever it was that her daughter was seeing, Michelle hopes that it was nothing serious or anything that should be a cause for concern. Who knows as to whether or not her daughter had actually seen something that night. But like always, let me know what you think. Marcos Garcia is the owner of a small car shop that is currently operated by just one mechanic. This mechanic is the only employee at this workshop, and it was just recently that he received a car from a customer who needed repairs on the vehicle. Ever since receiving this car though, strange things have been happening around the place. Both the business owner and the mechanic believe that there's something quite mysterious about this car. They don't know what it is, but they have a slight suspicion that it might be the reason as to why unexplainable things have been happening recently. This vehicle, according to them, scares them. Although feeling creeped out by the car's presence, they don't think much of it and carry on with their daily assignments. But then one day, a very peculiar incident is caught on camera. Marcos, the business owner, is watching over the shop through a security camera when he notices the mechanic acting very strange. The old man was moving in such a way that it made him feel very unsettled. But when the mechanic was asked as to what he was doing, he replied that he was talking to the client who had dropped off the creepy car. Marcos, though, found this very unusual. The video Marcos had seen tells a different story. This is what he saw.
Oye, este weón se volvió loco. Estoy revisando por la cámara del taller, de mi teléfono, estoy en mi casa. Y este maestro está hablando solo. No cacho qué onda. La verdad que no cacho qué onda. No, está hablando solo. Le voy a preguntar por cámara qué está haciendo. A ver, vamos a preguntar. ¿Sabes que consígueme el teléfono con la Connie, porfa? ¿Pero con quién habla, weón? ¿Aló? Oye, disculpa, pero ¿con quién estás hablando?
Con don Carlos, me está viendo, pasando el presupuesto y explicando el tema del accidente que tuvo anoche en la carretera. Entonces me está viendo el presupuesto y estoy explicándole lo que le estoy diciendo.
Oye, cálmate. ¿Qué, don Carlos? Pero, oye, escúchame un poquito. ¿Tú me estás hablando del accidente de anoche?
Claro.
Juan, me estáis huellando, ¿cierto?
No, pues estoy con don Carlos aquí, pues. Le estoy explicándole todo.
Oye, ¿podéis subir? ¿Sabes qué? Oye, es que no estáis hablando con nadie, viejo.
No puede ser, pues se tengo que ir aquí al frente mío, pues.
No estás hablando con nadie, Juan, y ayer los que chocaron murieron todos. Juan, no estás con nadie, sube y ven a ver las cámaras, tengo todo grabado. Sube, viejo, sube, vente al tiro. Si no estás con nadie, Juan. Viejo, no, tengo grabado, vente por favor, vente.
Confused and slightly unsettled by the old man's behavior, Marcos immediately calls him to ask what exactly is happening. To his shock, the mechanic replies that Carlos, the client who had dropped off the car days ago, was visiting him to discuss details about his car and a racing accident that occurred the night before. Marcos was chilled to his core. Hearing him mention the racing accident from last night was beyond strange. As it turns out, Carlos, the client, had passed away in a terrible street racing accident the night before. The mechanic had not been aware of this incident until recently. The question is, though, how exactly did he come to learn about this news? Could it be that the alleged spirit of Carlos had paid the mechanic a visit? Is the so-called haunted car responsible for this? Or is this simply a case of someone who's become slightly unhinged from doing too much work at the shop? Just like Marcos, viewers believe that something supernatural was caught on camera. In the previous video, I talked about a family in India who's been documenting unusual events inside their home. The family has seen more than just a couple of things move on their own, but also other small incidents that seem to hint at something way bigger and perhaps dangerous. From their house being suddenly infested with hundreds of maggots which appeared out of nowhere as they played holy music throughout the house, to occasionally hearing the pitter-patter of invisible footsteps late at night, the family can't help but think that a curse has been placed on their home. They believe that ever since letting go of the maid who took care of them, strange things have been happening. The maid, according to them, is responsible for the strange activity. Although having seen some crazy things, it's the most recent occurrence that's by far the strangest. It's late at night when the family is woken up by mysterious noises. This is what was caught.
रुको मैं भी हूँ
नहीं तुम बच्चे के साथ रहो मैं तो वो डरेगा
Daddy? Can I go?
नो मामा यू टेक केयर ऑफ मामी डैडी विल कम सून
Mysteriously, a mess has been made throughout the house. But most chilling of all is the video of how it all happened, which was captured by the security camera inside their living room. Take a look. September 31st of 2022, 3 policemen were dispatched to a house after receiving a call from a neighbor who reported that loud, strange noises were coming from inside. The neighbor stated that they heard deep, guttural noises and piercing screeches that were unlike anything they'd ever heard. When the police arrived, they were deeply disturbed by what they found. Now, the video itself was taken by a paramedic who was immediately called to the scene. As it turns out, the police requested immediate medical care as they were unprepared to deal with the situation at hand. They had no idea that the house they were in once belonged to a family of cannibals who enjoyed butchering human flesh and making exotic dishes that consisted of human remains. This cannibalistic family has since passed away, but their house still remains in its shabby condition in a small town located in Greater Poland. On the night of New Year's Eve in 2022, a 20-year-old woman named Kamilka had been inside the house with a couple of friends. They were all playing with the Ouija board with the intent of conjuring the spirits of the cannibalistic family and the victims they consumed. This was a bad idea, as all of a sudden, Kamilka began acting erratically and extremely feral before barricading herself inside a room. Something had gone terribly wrong. According to her friends, Kamilka had seemingly become possessed. When the police came, they were left highly unnerved by what they saw. This is what was caught.
Jezu, jak to Oda tak warczy? Ja pierdzielę. No, totalnie.
Pierdolę, ja dostałem tylko 5000 zł, kurwa, tam. Idź tam do...
Uważaj.
Kamilka! Kamila!
Ona jest nad nami u góry, od góry coś widzi.
Znamione byśmy się zabili pozycjami, mógłbyśmy zrobić. Odsuń się i
Nie?
uważaj, bo łeb kurwa zostanie.
Drut ma jakiś.
Nie, niech pan wyjdzie i ogłosimy
Terrified by Kamilka's strange behavior, the police are unable to go inside and save her. So, as a final attempt to get her out, they head outside and place a ladder against the side of the room where she hides. This, however, did not go as expected.
Milka! Tu jesteś, dzikuska. Chodź, misiu. Nie patrz jak świnia, kurwa. Chodź. Chodź tu, kurwo. Chodź tu, Kamilka. Kamilka, tu też cię widzę. To nie czołgaj się. Kamilka. Kamilka, dziecko cię woła. Kamilka. Wiktoria cię woła.
The police tell Kamilka that her daughter Victoria is with them as an attempt to lure her out of the room, but this didn't seem to work, given that she still stayed inside. Unfortunately, not much else is caught on camera as the video ends abruptly, but according to the paramedic who shot the video, Kamilka was eventually taken to the hospital. Strangely enough, it was upon arriving at the hospital that she started acting normal again. After being thoroughly examined by a psychiatrist, Kamilka showed no signs of any psychiatric disorders. Her blood was also checked for any intoxicating substances that could explain her strange behavior, but no traces of any drugs were found in her system. To this day, Kamilka's family nor her friends could explain what happened inside that house. All that is known is that her family wishes to never see their daughter ever like this again. Whether Kamilka was possessed or if she had a temporary psychosis remains a mystery. The following video doesn't have much info as the original source is unknown, but even without knowing its origin, the footage is no less scary. The story goes that a man who lives in a village near the Swiss Alps heard strange noises coming from the mountainous region. He decides to climb the mountain and find the source of these unusual sounds. When he gets to the top, he's immensely frightened by what he sees. This is the video he took.
Ne znam da li je moguće. Ne znam da li ste vidli. Ili mislim možda što sam sam ovde. Kao da mi se učinilo. Ne znam da li ste vidli, molim vas zavratite. Ništa se ne vidi. Ništa ne vidim i dalje. Čini mi se kao da je mrdnulo malo.
The man sees what appears to be two giant figures standing in the distance. Even more chilling is the fact that the figures seem to be moving ever so slightly, confirming that they weren't statues, but instead something else entirely. The man believes that these might have been angels or an entity of some sort, as he felt a sense of peace and believed that the figures meant no harm. Yet when looking at the video through an infrared lens, the figures don't appear to be fake or CGI'd. Whatever had been on top of this mountain seems to have actually been there. But, like always, you be the judge on whether or not something supernatural was captured. Just what exactly had been on top of this mountain? This next video comes from a bus driver in Singapore who had no idea that his day would start off with a very spooky encounter. It's 7 in the morning somewhere in Singapore when the driver of a large double-decker bus checks the security cameras of both decks inside the vehicle. On his dashboard, we can see live footage of what looks to be an empty bus, but upon looking closely, something pretty unnerving is seen on camera. Take a look.
Pagi dah buat seram ah. Kau tengok ni ya. Okey, kat atas ni ada orang kan. Jiwa betul lah. Pagi-pagi dah buat seram ah. Abi boleh ada orang kat atas kan. Sial kan, tak ada orang kan. Berderau darah aku lah. Celaka betul lah. Aku puas jeritkan dia suruh turun tadi kat dekat tempat turun orang. Nak bawa lagi sini. Pokemon betul lah.
As if seeing someone in what is supposed to be an empty bus wasn't creepy enough, the bus driver checks around and finds no one inside. It appears that whoever, or whatever was seen on camera, had simply vanished. If no one had been inside the bus, then who or what was this? Facebook user Meg Wolfgang had posted the following video in the hopes that someone could explain the strange occurrence that is seen in the footage. Meg was playing with her kittens when something pretty creepy was caught on camera. During the time of this recording, she didn't notice it. It was only after looking back at the footage that she realized that something unsettling was caught on camera. Meg writes, "I wanted to post this video I've had for quite a few years now and get others' opinions. In the video, which was recorded by myself in about 2008, maybe 2009 originally, there is a dresser not even half an inch raised off the ground, in which something reaches out from under, stealing the kitten's toy, and with audio on it that says what sounds like "leave me" at the same time. When I originally recorded the video, I didn't hear or see anything. The following is the video she took. Beneath the dresser, there appears to be something hiding inside. It's hard to make out what this is, but according to Meg, she can't shake the thought of this being a physical manifestation of something supernatural. Given the strange motion of whatever this is, including its odd appearance, and the faint whispering that is heard in the background, most viewers agree with Meg that something supernatural had been captured. But, as with most videos, I'll let you come up with your own opinion.